"28 transitions later. After stringing together a few levels with dark tunnels as transition spaces, we realized we could subvert player expectations by building another one that appeared to be a transition, but instead contained something else. Like everyone else, we saw 28 Days Later in 2002, loved it, and immediately wanted to create an escalating zombie encounter in one of our dark tunnels. It came together quickly, and we were pleased with the result. Years later, we met Alex Garland, the writer of the film. He had played and enjoyed Half-Life 2, and we confessed that his movie inspired this section.
Flashlight power. The decision to have both Sprint and the flashlight share the HEV's suit power was a controversial one in Half-Life 2. Initially, only Sprint used suit power, which made sense as it was meant to be only a short burst of speed. The flashlight, on the other hand, could be used indefinitely, but playtesting revealed an issue. Players often left dark areas without realizing their flashlight was still on. In brightly lit open areas like Coast, our performance budget couldn't support the flashlight being on continuously, so we needed a way to turn it off without player involvement. Limiting its power seemed like a simple solution, with the benefit of adding some tension to dark areas too. The challenge then became, what resource should it use? We already had suit power and didn't want to clutter the UI with a new resource just for the flashlight. We toyed with the idea of other player abilities using suit power, thinking it might be interesting to have players make trade-offs between them. This is a good example of game design often being about choosing between imperfect solutions. We didn't love the idea of Sprint and flashlight sharing a resource, but we also didn't want multiple resources cluttering the UI. In Episode 2, with no plans to add anything else that consumed suit power, we ultimately decided to give the flashlight its own separate resource.
Ramming zombies with the buggy. As human beings, we have expectations for our physical world, as mentioned a few times in this commentary. One of those expectations is, if you hit a zombie with your car, it should get absolutely booted into the air. But getting this effect in-game isn't as straightforward as it is in the real world. For performance reasons, enemies like the zombie use a simplified collision box during gameplay. This is a box that fits snugly around the zombie with no part of the model sticking out. But when the zombie dies, it's converted into a ragdoll with more accurate, per-limb collision boxes, though this is more expensive to simulate. This change in collision representation adds further complexity when you ram a zombie with the buggy, beyond just the frame hitch. When the buggy first collides with the zombie, it touches the zombie's simplified collision box. The game then kills the zombie, converting it into a ragdoll that the physics system begins to simulate. Now, with more accurate per-limb collision, the closest part of the zombie may be several inches away from the buggy, As a result, the next time the physics system simulates, the zombie starts falling from gravity because the buggy is no longer pushing it. While it's only a short moment before the buggy reaches the zombie again, this small discrepancy made ramming zombies unsatisfying. They often fell out of the player's view. To fix this, we saved the force the zombie's collision box received when hit by the buggy, and applied that same force to the ragdoll after conversion. We also added a slight upward force to the ragdoll, launching it a bit. With these tweaks, zombies reliably folded over the front of the buggy when hit, which better matched player expectations.
I thought there weren't any crates by any ships, but this one apparently does. Now I wonder how many other ships I didn't check that had a crate next to them. Also no antlions on this beach.
D2, Coast 9. Late in Coast development, we reached a point where our game code was far enough ahead of our level design that our gameplay programmers were looking for more code to write and new tasks that could help Half-Life 2 ship. This was largely due to the demands of Coast levels, which placed a heavy burden on our level designers with their sheer scale and extensive training. D2, Coast 9. Late in Coast development, we reached a point where our game code was far enough ahead of our level design that our gameplay programmers were looking for more code to write and new tasks that could help Half-Life 2 ship. This was largely due to the demands of Coast levels, which placed a heavy burden on our level designers with their sheer scale and extensive terrain usage. As a result, our gameplay programmers began designing smaller scale encounters. Later, when our level designers caught up, they created this level by stitching together 3 separate encounters from the programmers and performing all the necessary finishing work to prepare it for release. D2, Coast 9. Late in Coast development, we reached a point where our game code was far enough ahead of our level design that our gameplay programmers were looking for more code to write and new tasks that could help Half-Life 2 ship. This was largely due to the demands of Coast levels, which placed a heavy burden on our level designers with their sheer scale and extensive terrain usage. As a result, our gameplay programmers began designing smaller scale encounters. Later, when our level designers caught up, they created this level by stitching together 3 separate encounters from the programmers and performing all the necessary finishing work to prepare it for release.
A bit lame, this encounter.
Battery finding. With the increased density of objects in Half-Life 2's gameplay spaces, we thought it would be interesting to have players search for a specific item, especially if there was some logic to where it might be found. This way, players could locate the item either through careful observation and deduction, or just by brute force searching the area. Since we already had models for cars and batteries, it was a natural step to create a small junkyard for players to explore. We also hid a couple of extra batteries in unexpected places for the players who chose the brute force method. As with other item-based puzzles, this one needed a failsafe in case players lost the batteries. You can try throwing all of them over the cliff if you want to see what happens.
We're picking up radio chatter. They're looking for your car. Get your car in the garage.
Buggy removal. Once we reached the point where we wanted the player to leave the buggy behind, we had to be very explicit about it. Throughout Coast, players had been leaving the buggy and then returning to it, so we found that playtesters would try to bring it along if it looked even remotely possible. This small garage scene primarily exists to signal clearly that the player is done with driving and will be proceeding on foot.
Okay, Doc. You'll have to go on foot from here. There's a secret path along the cliffside, but no one's going anywhere until we fight off this attack. Having you here to fight alongside us is going to make a big difference for morale. Crap. Here come the dropships. Okay, Doc. You'll have to go on foot from here. There's a secret path along the cliffside, but no one's going anywhere until we fight off this attack. Having you here to fight alongside us is going to make a big difference for morale. Crap. Here come the dropships.
Incoming! Dropship at the lighthouse!
Ammunition depleted.
It's a gunship! Find the rockets! Here, have a med kit. Sorry.
Lighthouse Gunship. The gunship scenario here took some work to play out the way we envisioned it. We wanted it to unfold as it would in a movie. In the filmic version, a gunship would fire through the windows as the protagonist ascended the lighthouse, anticipating their movements. To simulate that anticipation in the game, we set up a complex series of trigger volumes along the staircase. As they detect the player moving up, they instruct the gunship to choose a new flight path that matches the player's altitude. The triggers also enable bullseye targets in the windows nearest the player. These are invisible. Lighthouse Gunship. The gunship scenario here took some work to play out the way we envisioned it. We wanted it to unfold as it would in a movie. In the filmic version, a gunship would fire through the windows as the protagonist ascended the lighthouse, anticipating their movements. To simulate that anticipation in the game, we set up a complex series of trigger volumes along the staircase. As they detect the player moving up, They instruct the gunship to choose a new flight path that matches the player's altitude. The triggers also enable bullseye targets in the windows nearest the player. These are invisible game objects that the enemy AI will immediately perceive as hostile, and prompts the gunship to fire at the windows. This blend of AI and scripting is central to Half-Life's combat scenarios. The AI manages the general, adaptive behavior of the NPCs, while the scripting customizes each scenario's unique requirements.
Take this med kit. This way, Dr. Freeman. We'll take the cliff path before another gunship finds us. All right, Dr. Freeman. Come with me before another one comes.
So they added this next map on to the skybox, which is cool. And I guess you enter the camp here, then you go through. Shouldn't we be able to see Nova Prospect? Like it would be roughly here, I guess, on this mountain.
All right, Dr. Freeman, come with me before another one comes.
I mean, we're climbing a cliff, right, to Nova Prospect. It's on top of a hill. On the cliff, like we have this beach, then the camp, then another long beach, and then like it just goes a steep cliff, but this isn't a cliff.
All right, Dr. Freeman, come with me before another one comes.
Dropship deployment. Deploying soldiers from the dropships was tricky, as it required NPCs to spawn inside another solid object. To get them into the open where they could start navigating normally, they immediately play an animation that has them leaping out of the container the moment they spawn. Once that was working, we encountered another issue.
Savvy players would simply just wait outside the container and shoot the soldiers during their exit animation. To counter this, we added a turret to the container to defend the soldiers as they exit. It doesn't fully prevent a player from taking advantage, especially if they're using an indirect weapon like a grenade or something, but that felt realistic and like a true-to-life countermeasure someone thinking strategically might take.
Performance constraints. For the final Coast arena, we envisioned a big finale where the player and a squad of citizens would hold out against waves of combined soldiers, culminating in a gunship battle. Unfortunately, the computational cost of having soldiers and friendly allies moving around on terrain meant that the battle kept being scaled back to fit within our performance budget. By the time we were down to featuring only a single squad of soldiers at any given time, we were already late in development. Too late to make large-scale changes to the arena to accommodate more enemies, we had to redesign the flow of the fight to keep the number of soldiers to a minimum.
Come with me before another one comes.
Lighthouse gunship.
Major fracture detected. Automatic medical systems engaged. Morphine administered.
Let's go! Before another one comes. Let's go! All right, Dr. Freeman, come with me before another one comes. Let's go! Come with me before another one comes. Let's go! All right, Dr. Freeman, come with me before another one comes.
Minor fracture detected. Minor lacerations detected. Major fracture detected. Blood loss detected. Detected. Major fracture detected. Major fracture detected. Warning. Vital signs critical. Medical attention.
this engine actually preserves quite a lot of stuff, like all the barrels shit and like the dead corpses. Would have expected it to be cleaned up by now. Only like the one battle, the one battle by the bridge points gets reset. But I guess that's, you know, by design, because you're meant to re-enter that. But like, let's see what the previous map does, because I'm not. That jump was a bit dodgy. I think the previous map might. Well, no, because like you could enter from here. But yeah, like you could organize like an open world game like Fallout or something in this, and then preserve all your items there as well.
Lacerations detected.
Freeman. Yeah, pardon me. Gordon Freeman! This steerable rocket launcher is our best bet for taking down a gunship. Ah, hello. I'll be right with you. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. Using the laser guide, you can steer your rocket past the gunship's defenses and prevent it from shooting down your rocket. This will be painful at first, but if you can survive long enough to make several direct hits, you'll be Now, who's going to be the lucky one to carry it into combat?
in and I'll lower you down to the beach. Good, here we go.
Gordon Freeman! This steerable rocket launcher is our best bet for taking down a gunship. Ah, hello. I'll be right with you. Now, where was I? Ah, yes.
Should have made a quick save at the lighthouse point, though.
Past the gunship's defenses and prevent it from shooting down your rocket. This will only anger it at first, but if you can survive long enough to make several direct hits, you'll be rewarded with a prize worthy of any mantelpiece. Now, who's going to be the lucky one to carry it into combat? Ah, yes, Gordon Freeman. I couldn't have asked for a finer volunteer. Colonel Odessa Cubbage at your service.
Medical systems engaged. Morphine administered.
This steerable rocket launcher...
Alright, so yeah, it resets whatever comes before this map. I guess when you jump that bridge or whatever. And then I guess it resets this map when you transition into the previous map.
Buggy removal. Once we reach the point where we
Performance constraint.
Dropship deployment. Deploying soldiers from the dropships was tricky, as it required NPCs to spawn inside another solid object. To get them into the open where they could start navigating normally, they immediately play an animation that has them leaping out of the container the moment they spawn. Once that was working, we encountered another issue. Savvy players would simply just wait outside the container and shoot the soldiers during their exit animation. To counter this, we added a turret to the container to defend the soldiers as they exit. It doesn't fully prevent a player from taking advantage, especially if they're using an indirect weapon like a grenade or something, but that felt realistic and like a true-to-life countermeasure someone thinking strategically might take.
Buggy removal. Once we reach the point
This way, Dr. Freeman. We'll take the cliff path before another gunship finds us.
Lighthouse.
Here, have a med kit. This way, Dr. Freeman. We'll take the cliff path before another gunship finds us.
Minor fracture detected.
All right, Dr. Freeman.
Alright, back to normal gameplay.
Before another one comes. Right along there. And watch your step. I'm hurt! Excuse me.
Buggy theft. As we built the end of Coast, we decided to have the Combine steal the player's buggy. It really doesn't make logical sense, but after watching so many playtests where players developed a strong attachment to their buggy, we wanted to play with that emotional connection. Once we implemented the theft, we had playtesters yelling at the Combine for stealing their ride, something we took as a sign of success. The soldier firing down from the cliff top is simply there to draw the player's eye up, triggering the look target and spawning the dropship with the buggy. Watching it now 20 years later, we're struck by how ridiculous it all is.
Those guys are dead. Like, they already got annihilated by the dropships and the gunships earlier. It was only the guy in the lighthouse. They're dead.
You there! Stop where you are! Stay on the rocks! Don't step on the sand. It makes the antlions crazy. Laszlo, don't move. No. Help! Dear God. Poor Laszlo! The finest mind of his generation. To come to such an end. We were heading for the Vortigaunt camp, hoping to pick up some Bugbait so these damn things would leave us alone. But without Laszlo, what's the point? I know you tried to help. I'll stay with him a while. There's something I have to do. Go ahead. I hope you have better luck than we had.
Finest mind of his generation. Here is another small interstitial scene that ended up working well. The only requirement for this moment was to teach the player to stay off the sand. With prior scenes, we were still focused on simply making them functional. But by the time we got to this one, we were becoming more comfortable and started enjoying the process of putting extra thought into these moments. In doing so, we pushed the characters beyond being mere signposts, creating something more interesting and entertaining. After release, Laszlo went on to develop a larger-than-life following, reminding us how hard it is to predict what players will hold on to.
Floor is lava. Building gameplay around broadly understood concepts like the floor is lava made training it easy. We liked how our physics system allowed for a high degree of creative freedom in how players chose to tackle it. Some built walkways out of many objects, while others focused on using just their two favorite sheets of metal. Some, floor is lava. Building gameplay around broadly understood concepts like the floor is lava made training it easy. We liked how our physics system. Floor is lava. Building gameplay around broadly understood concepts like the floor is lava made training it easy. We liked how our physics system allowed for a high degree of creative freedom in how players chose to tackle it. Some built walkways out of many objects, while others focused on using just their two favorite sheets of metal. Some carefully follow the path up in the rocks, concerned about falling, while others move directly towards the exit, perch on objects just above the sand. Playstyles varied. Some players consider it a failure if they summon antlions, reloading immediately, while others enjoy scrambling back up on the rocks to recover. We also liked that it functioned as a navigation puzzle, but could be turned into an arena if players prefer. Some just jump onto the sand and fought. Floor is lava. Building gameplay around broadly understood concepts like the floor is lava made training it easy. We liked how our physics system allowed for a high degree of creative freedom in how players chose to tackle it. Some built walkways out of many objects, while others focused on using just their two favorite sheets of metal. Some carefully follow the path up in the rocks, concerned about falling, while others move directly towards the exit, perch on objects just above the sand. Playstyles varied. Some players consider it a failure if they summon antlions, reloading immediately, while others enjoy scrambling back up on the rocks to recover. We also liked that it functioned as a navigation puzzle, but could be turned into an arena if players preferred. Some just jump onto the sand and fought their way to the end.
fracture detected. Ammunition depleted.
hunter. The explosive barrels are provided for players to use against antlions while standing safely within the thumper's protection. But we're also using this as a hint for the upcoming antlion guard encounter, where players often use similar tactics to win the fight. Optional player actions, like launching explosives with a gravity gun, can be forgotten if they aren't used regularly. With the wide range of offensive options we give players, there's no guarantee they've used this ability recently. So here, we're subtly suggesting they bring it back into their toolkit before they face the guard.
Ammunition depleted.
Vortigaunt Extraction. This arena presented some tricky design problems for a couple reasons. First, the guard is a melee-only enemy, so we couldn't allow the player to reach areas where the guard couldn't follow. We did experiment with a few ranged attacks, but didn't like the results. Its goose-spitting attack, for instance, ended up looking ridiculous. The only non-melee attack that survived was its ability to bash physics objects at the player, but this required objects to be in range, which isn't always guaranteed. The second challenge was ensuring that no matter where the guard dies, the Vortigaunt can reach its corpse. This was essential as the game can't proceed if the Vortigaunt is unable to extract the Bugbait. Vortigaunt Extraction.
free man must follow. Yes, forward. The Freeman will do wise to heed our extraction of the Myrmidon's aromatic theropods. The process is not entirely hygienic, therefore stand aside. The Freeman will have need of these theropods on the paths ahead. Gather them now. The Freeman must retrieve the fallen theropods without delay. The Freeman must follow.
In rare cases, players could find themselves unable to kill the antlion guard in this arena. This would happen if they ran out of ammo, or had misused all of the available physics objects, leaving nothing to launch with the gravity gun. To address this, we added a citizen on the mounted turret above the gate as a failsafe, allowing a stuck player to rely on a citizen to kill the guard.
The antlions won't bother you now, Doc.
The Freeman must excuse us. It is rude of us to commune by flux shifting in front of those whose vocal inputs are impaired. Yes, we'll vocalize in your auditory language as a matter of courtesy. Unless we wish to say unflattering things about you. Just so.
Get going, Dr. Freeman. Nova Prospect is just ahead. One man alone wouldn't stand much chance going in there. But a man with a pack of antlions, well, that's a different story.
The Freeman honors us by his presence. Follow Freeman.
Bugbait training.
This clumsy Bugbait training is where we landed, having run out of time, but needing players to understand the tool for Nova Prospect's design to work. Generally, we aim to add enough flavor and context to training so it doesn't feel like training. It feels like a natural part of discovering something new. Here, though, we didn't quite manage that. As obvious as it may seem, Bugbait wasn't something players intuitively grasped. We're well into the game now, so players have plenty of experience dealing with enemies. Before we added any training, the first playtesters who collected Bugbait entered the next level and instinctively shot the first antlion they saw, because that had been working up until then. Half-Life tends to encourage a shoot first, ask questions later approach. Similarly, when players reached Nova Prospect, they didn't think to throw Bugbait at the Combine soldiers and instead relied on their usual weapons. So, we needed this training not only to show how Bugbait works, but also to demonstrate that antlions would be close to the player without attacking.
The freemen will now be instructed in the use of theropods. Attend now and learn to shepherd antlions with the so-called Bugbait. The freeman will now break out his theropod and toss one into yonder pit. The freeman has done well. Freeman can also coax his antlions to attack specific targets. Observe the training mannequin and mark it well with another theropod. The Freeman excels in all tasks. Attend well. Apply pressure to your theropod to signal the antlions in your command to follow you. The Freeman shows his excellence in all things. And now this one must bid the Freeman farewell. Nova Prospect lies just beyond. Remember well what you have learned here. The Eli Vance has greatest confidence in you.
Thumper Final Stage. We liked the final stage of Thumpers, where their purpose is inverted. Now, instead of serving as a tool for safety, they act as a blocker for the player's antlion army. However, we probably should have incorporated more thorough Thumper training before this point. While it was acceptable for players to only partially understand Thumpers in the earlier coast levels, the stakes are higher now because players are also trying out Bugbait for the first time. Players who don't realize that this first Thumper prevents their antlions from moving forward may misunderstand how Bugbait works. If they throw Bugbait at soldiers in the first bunker and no antlions arrive, they might conclude that Bugbait is unreliable, or doesn't work as expected, and switch back to using their weapons instead.
Priority warning. Outland stabilization force 6 Nova Prospect. Perimeter restrictors disengaged. Priority warning. Perimeter restrictors disengaged. Priority warning. Perimeter restrictors disengaged. All stabilization delegates move to incursion hardpoint immediately.
Assault on Nova Prospect. With an infinitely respawning antlion army on a coastline assaulting a fortified Combine base, it was hard not to try a Normandy-inspired level. Our initial prototype featured trenches leading up to Nova Prospect, with lethal machine guns forcing the player and their antlions to stay within the trenches to survive. It was thrilling to have machine gun fire and leaping antlions constantly passing above the trenches. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it work within our performance budget, and ultimately had to set it aside in favor of a completely different layout. However, the mounted guns remained, as their lethality proved useful in encouraging players to rely on their antlions.
Well, there's a crossbow, but it's not directly in my path, so I guess I'm missing one still. I've seen a few others in my path.
Alert. Contact status 0 with Land B intercept team. Possible anti-citizen 1 reinfection. All Nova Prospect stabilization delegates move to hard point.
I really like this sequence, like you're slowly approaching this big ass base. It's really cool. Yeah, kick-ass music from earlier as well, and then like just, oh no, the vibe, it's getting dark again. I dig it.
Nova Prospect Stabilization Force Directive 2. Engage reserve. Contain exogen incursion.
Also the announcements and all that, I like it.
Major fracture detected. Automatic medical systems engaged. Morphine administered.
reason they insta-spot me now, okay. Also, this is a thing.
Vital signs critical. Seek medical attention. Ammunition depleted.
Nova Prospect Yard. The combat throughout the Nova Prospect Yard was largely inspired by our early observations of antlions fighting Combine soldiers. The antlions' high mobility and melee attacks paired well with the soldiers' range lethality and vulnerability up close. Antlions look great under fire, with particle effects flying everywhere, and when they finally reach a soldier, the resulting ragdoll effect is incredibly satisfying. Nova Prospect Yard. The combat throughout the Nova Prospect Yard was largely inspired by our early observations of antlions fighting Combine soldiers. The antlions' high mobility and melee attacks paired well with the soldiers' range lethality and vulnerability up close. Antlions look great under fire, with particle effects flying everywhere, and when they finally reach a soldier, the resulting ragdoll effect is incredibly satisfying.
Remember the good old days where you would try hiding this hole? Didn't do that this time from the gunship. This was like super difficult map. It still is, but yeah, this is probably my favorite. Well, it's got kind of fucked in this version, in this update, but this is definitely my favorite map, I think, in this game. Just very climactic, especially after that beach rush from the previous map, and then we get like not one but two gunships. I need a third gunship in episode 3. Just have like this big ass fight with gunships and striders. Actually, in the end of Follow Freeman, when you fight the striders, a gunship flies overhead. I really wish that gunship had stayed to battle you, so you had like the gunship to hide from as well as the strider. But yeah, in the past, you know, like this would be mostly the only safe haven, and you'd be afraid to rush over here. Gone are those days. I'm too good at the game now. I wonder what you could do to change that. Maybe put this chest, like even just having this chest like over there or like in a random spot next time would... I mean, it once you know where the chest is, nothing really changes, but like it's just there, that spot is like too useful, you know what I mean? Just have it like a random location where the chest is. I think that would already aid with replayability a lot. But yeah, obviously, you know, that's gonna take a while to implement. Something satisfying though about when you're done with the big battle. It's a very noisy map, and when you're done, these guys piss off, you can still hear the combat going on in the prison itself. Really sells the illusion of war. Just wish these guys would fuck off for longer so I don't have to listen to them buzz.
Magic Wall. Like many of our combat arenas, we needed a gate of some kind to prevent players from moving on before they finished this fight. Unfortunately, we were out of time and had to move on to the train station, so we ended up with this bit of magical bullshit. A wall that just explodes after the second gunship is defeated, revealing the way forward. We reassured ourselves that most players wouldn't notice, as they'd be busy fighting the gunships, and our playtesting had shown that generally they all finished the fight before they reached this point. With enough explosions throughout the arena, the destroyed, burning wall felt pretty natural, so we threw in a couple of simple gas puzzles on the other side to justify it. But no, we're not exactly proud of it.
I mean, once you kill one gunship and then damage another, like by 75% or something, the remaining gunship will... Like, it didn't happen for me because I killed him too quickly, but like, I think you could see him, when there was one missile left, you could see him kinda start targeting the gas pump to shoot it. Like, the gunship shoots the thing, and you can actually move on from this fight before the second gunship is dead. So I think he's being a little bit too harsh on himself. But I guess that's like the gunship shooting it when he has 1 HP left. It's just another one of his, like, oh yeah, his excuses for why this wall exploded or something like that. Yeah, I think he's being a little bit too harsh on himself here, but I can kinda see his point, but I also don't. I think it makes sense with the gunship shooting it. I don't think they remember.
Priority alert. Nova Prospect oxygen breach. Perimeter communication status 0. Internal stabilization team. Deploy sterilizers. Suspected infection block A5, A7, B2.
I do see his point on how it is kind of silly. There's no other doors. It's just a dead-end room. And then there's the canister in this corner, tucked in this corner. I mean, yeah, the room makes very little sense, I guess. But, I mean, what room in Half-Life series doesn't? Yeah, I'm not even sure he mentioned there was a canister here. Like, there's a lot of, like, set pieces just for this exploding wall. I think they did an alright job.
Magic Wall. Like many of our combat arenas, we needed a gate of some kind to prevent players from moving on before they finished this fight. Unfortunately, we were out of time and had to move on to the train station, so we ended up with this bit of magical bullshit. A wall that just explodes after the second gunship is defeated, revealing the way forward.
Not a wall.
We reassured ourselves that most players wouldn't notice,
Fuel tank.
as they'd be busy fighting the gunships,
and our playtesting had shown that generally they all finished the fight before they reached this point. With enough explosions throughout the arena, the destroyed burning wall felt pretty natural, so we threw in a couple of simple gas puzzles on the other side to justify it. But no, we're not exactly proud of it.
I mean, he's not proud of it, so that's good. Being not proud of something, 'cause, you know, that means I know how to improve. But unlike, you know, like the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition guys, they are proud of some bullshit. And this guy is not proud of something that is completely fine. I like this guy.